Hello friends, I am CMA Deepansh. Let's discuss today how Nokia failed in the Indian market. We are going to be diving deep into the story of how a genuine titan of the tech world, well, completely lost its crown. It's truly one of the most dramatic business collapses of our time, and we're going to unpack exactly how it all went down.
Of course you do, right? For millions upon millions of people in India, a Nokia phone wasn't just their first mobile phone, it was the mobile phone. It was way more than just a device. It was a part of your daily life, a real symbol of durability, and, of course, connection. Honestly, they were everywhere you looked. So the big question is, how does a brand that literally owned an entire market just disappear in only a few short years? It's a crazy story, and to really get the collapse, we have to first understand just how high they climbed.
To really feel the impact of the fall, you have to appreciate the incredible height they fell from. Back in the early 2000s, you see, Nokia wasn't just another market leader in India. For all intents and purposes, it was the market.
Just look at this number. At its absolute peak, Nokia commanded a staggering 50 to 60% of the entire Indian mobile market. I mean, think about that. That's not just dominance, that's basically a monopoly. They seemed completely, totally untouchable.
And you know, this incredible success was built on a really solid foundation. Their phones were famously tough. You could drop them and they'd be fine. The batteries, they lasted for what felt like an eternity. And they really understood the Indian consumer, offering localized features like dust resistance and including regional languages. For a very long time, they were without a doubt the best in the business.
But here's the crucial twist in the story. The very success that made them a giant, well, it also planted the seeds of their own destruction. They got overconfident. They started to believe their position at the top was completely unshakable. And that, my friends, is a dangerous place to be.
And then, just like that, the world started to change. A huge technological tidal wave called the smartphone was building on the horizon, and Nokia, well, they were standing right on the shore, looking in the complete opposite direction.
You really can't overstate the scale of Nokia's miscalculation here. As Indian consumers, especially the younger generation, started eagerly adopting smartphones after 2010, Nokia was still doubling down on its old, clunky Symbian operating system and its basic feature phones. They just completely missed how fast the market was about to change.
And this leads us to what many experts believe was the single biggest nail in Nokia's coffin, their choice of a partner to fight the great smartphone war.
So instead of jumping on board with the booming Android ecosystem, Nokia made this massive, high-stakes bet on Microsoft's Windows Phone. And wow, the difference was just night and day. On one side, you had Android, which offered this whole universe of apps and total flexibility. On the other side, you had Windows Phone, which was like a closed garden, with hardly any of the essential apps that Indian users were desperate for, like WhatsApp and YouTube. It was, simply put, a fatal mistake.
And that huge strategic error was only made worse by a growing disconnect from their actual customers. It seems like Nokia started to forget what made them so successful in India in the first place.
The problem becomes crystal clear when you just look at the value proposition. The Indian market absolutely runs on a value-for-money mindset. Nokia's new Lumia phones? They were expensive and had very few apps. At the same time, competitors were flooding the market with affordable Android phones that had better specs and, crucially, access to that massive app ecosystem. For the average person, the choice was a no-brainer.
And the problems just kept piling up. Their product launches slowed to a crawl. They completely missed huge trends like large touchscreens. Their marketing was totally stuck in the past, still talking about durability when young consumers wanted to hear about lifestyle and features. All the while, their competitors were running circles around them with simple, essential things like dual SIM slots and clever, festival-based marketing campaigns. Now add to all of these external problems a full-blown crisis happening inside the company. There were frequent leadership changes, no clear vision, and serious supply chain problems, like major tax disputes at their Chennai plant. It all meant that the company was just too slow and too disorganized to even try to fight back effectively.
This timeline just shows you how shockingly fast it all fell apart. I mean, they went from absolute peak dominance to a total market collapse and selling off their mobile division in less than 5 years. It's truly a breathtaking fall from grace. The end result? A total wipeout. Nokia lost all of its market leadership, they were forced to exit the smartphone business completely, and the brand became, well, irrelevant to a whole new generation of phone users. The Nokia you hear about today is a very different company, one that's focused mainly on building things like telecom infrastructure and 5G networks.
So after all of that, what's the big takeaway from this incredible story? Well, Nokia's failure offers some of the most powerful, timeless business lessons you will ever find. It really all boils down to these 5 crucial lessons. First, you have to adapt or you will die. Technology simply waits for no one. Second, software is king. Amazing hardware is worthless without the apps that people actually want to use. Third, you have to know your market. In a place like India, that means localization and value are everything. Fourth, never ever get complacent. Competition can and will come from anywhere. And finally, innovation is a marathon, not a sprint. What worked yesterday doesn't guarantee you'll survive tomorrow.
Nokia's story really remains this powerful, cautionary tale. It just proves that no company, no matter how big or dominant it is too big to fail if it stops listening, stops innovating, and stops adapting. And that leaves us with a pretty critical question to think about. Which of today's tech giants might be ignoring these exact same lessons?